What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. It's funny biz time. Woo, woo, woo. It's funny biz time. Yeah, yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
ooh, ooh.
Funny biz. Hey, hey,
Uh,
hey. All
what?
right. So y'all know what it is. Thank you
Seven.
for coming and watching another funny edition of Funny Bits podcast. We do this every Friday Eve. We don't say the T word. Let me introduce y'all to the regular crew. We got Larry XL in the top box. What up?
What up? How you doing?
And my dancing partner in the lower box, Carl Rogers. What's up?
Uh, uh. Hip hop. You don't stop. Hip hop. Rock, rock. I don't know what to say after
Wait, hold
rock,
up.
but
You do hear that beat, right? Do you hear the beat?
it's coming off. It's coming off different in my headsets. Turn me up in my headsets.
Turn me up in the mic. Turn me up. Turn me up.
Turn me up.
Yo, I'm turning this off, okay? Because you crazy. But I'm super excited today because we do have a special guest in the studio on the show. And we'll bring him in a little later, but I will give you a sneak preview. We will have Setoiyo will be here. Woo! Cannot wait. Yes, super excited. All right, so let's get to what we do. How was everybody's week? What's going on? What's happening? It's so quiet. I like the music. What?
I mean,
Go ahead,
same,
Larry.
same thing as was going on last week. Nothing.
I know. It's like a horrible Groundhog's Day,
That's right.
man.
What's new? It's like nothing.
Right. What's new?
Not a
What's
damn thing.
Oh gosh. Well, we gotta make some stuff new. How about that? You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, you do. I mean, try putting something different in your breakfast this time. Like,
Well, I mean, Carl
spice it up.
can't speak because Carl got something new in his life. So,
Oh, right.
yeah,
You see,
so,
he
I
got
mean,
extra pep in his step
yeah, I
nowadays.
mean, we
Don't he
know.
know?
Yeah, we
Don't
know.
he
Yeah,
know? Look at him.
We
Look
know
at
y'all
where
gonna
the
keep it up,
beefy
boy.
thing is coming from.
Look at
I'm
him.
gonna plug both of y'all in the throat. Like,
If you can catch us.
Hey, you gotta.
We ain't
get
never
around
in the
house
same
for that
room
to
no
happen.
more. We ain't in the same room no more.
You got to meet up
oh
with
yeah,
us somewhere for that to happen, and every time we try to make that happen, you always like, I can't do it because I got
Right? No, because he's too busy with
yeah.
this Martina. Okay,
yeah.
okay. So we,
You better
we
be.
we see where your priorities lie. It's okay. I mean, we were here first, but I'm just saying, it's
And
all
y'all will
good.
always have a place in my heart.
Yo, that's bullshit.
That's gas.
Listen, I ain't falling for the okie doke no more. Fuck all that. We were here first, god damn it. I don't
Nah,
care.
I'm telling you, with this homeschool stuff, man, I gotta make sure. I'm telling you, as soon as an assignment is not turned in,
Yeah,
like 3 emails will go out, like bling, 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 bling. I'm like, hold up,
I
and
know.
the surprise the kids be like, how'd you know I didn't turn that in? I was like,
Right, exactly. How'd you know? We know everything now, and we get it super fast. It's not like
I
when we
got it.
were coming up and we had to wait for the teacher to send home a note, and then we intersect the note, and our parents would never see the note, or we
Change
sign
that.
it. I knew my mom's signature by heart, so I was signing all kinds of deficiency notices,
Shoot, me
detention
too.
notices.
I knew how to sign both of my mom. My mom had 2 different signatures, right? I had to learn both of them just in case. Like, okay.
Larry, were you a bad kid? Like, not bad, but did you like get into trouble and then like never tell your parents?
No, I was pretty much like a good kid. Yeah, I stayed under the radar, and so yeah.
Were you always that tall? That's my question. Were you always that tall? How when
Yep.
did you start to sprout up?
Yeah, I was always just tall. I was always back row center every school photo.
So fifth grade, you were taller than your
Six
teacher,
two.
weren't you?
Yeah, I
It was
mean,
6'2" in 6th grade.
it sucked too because like, everybody wants you, like when you are like the big black dude, especially if you're not in like an all black school,
Right.
people want you to go out for every sport. And
Right.
when you got no interest in any of the sports, when you're the guy that like you're just like the comic book nerd who wants to learn how to play an instrument or something like that,
Right.
people act like you just like slapped Jesus in the face. When
Yeah.
you're done with the
Yeah.
sport.
They were like, you so big, you gotta play football.
Yeah,
You
I'm
so
sorry.
big.
I don't want to get a head injury trying to entertain your monkey ass.
I just love that you had that same attitude like throughout. Like you've always
Dude,
been like that. I love it. I absolutely love it. That's part of the thing I'm excited about today is like I know Setoiyo from the comedy world, and I know a little bit about his background only because of what he talks about on stage. But I really am excited to have him on the show because I want to ask him some of those like childhood things and how it was for him like in school. I think that'll be interesting to talk about because like we never really know who people are. We only see like the present. So I think that'll be interesting. And Carl, I know some of your background, especially I think it's interesting that you, of course, you're a twin. So growing up as a twin in the same school with your sibling, like how was that?
man, that was crazy because we act like when I saw the movie Color Purple, we had that moment of separation in the hallway in first grade. Because I would think it's like first one and
Oh,
second, like second grade. And we was in like kindergarten, first grade, man, preschool, all that stuff together. When they started us out in the same class, and then they came in and separated us, right? So we're in the hallway like, no! And
right.
then,
I can imagine
but
like,
see,
oh, that was
he adjusted
probably
quicker.
so cute.
He adjusted quicker because by lunchtime he was like acting like he didn't even know me.
You
That's
know
kind of
what?
like how we are today.
He
You know,
was like, Carl,
he's like,
Carl
oh,
who?
that's my brother. I'm like,
Right. He
little
just has
ninja.
the same face as me. It's all right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I I don't know. I've always been obsessed with twins. I had in third grade I had some friends, Scott and Chris McHenry. They were twins, and I was
You hit him up,
actually
huh?
infatuated with Scott. Yeah, it was third grade. And I'll never forget, we got to stand next to each other in our class picture, and I was like, and he liked me too. He liked me too on the sneak. We did that whole like almost like held hands, but our hands brushed up against each other. We were like, hee hee. And I was like, I love Scott McHenry. And plus, so we had
I
the M, so
can't, I
that
cannot
meant we sat
picture.
next to each other too in class. We were close because he was MC and I was MI. So alphabetically, our desks were close to each other.
I can't picture a time in your life when you were ever coy and shy. Like to me, you were always the come get this.
I am shy. I am shy. Even come get this. Come get this creamsicle, boy. No,
I got apple juice.
I was always shy. I'm still shy, even if like even in my marriage, I still remember like after we were dating a while or after I got engaged or whatever, it's still I'm like, okay, there's moments where, yeah, okay, I'll go for it, but I'm still like a little prudish at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
you hold
there,
that as your alter ego, just in
yeah,
case the
yeah,
cops come. Like, oh,
yes,
me,
yes.
me.
Because I mean, I can be wild, but I'm not wild around everybody. So that's the thing about me personally. But yeah, I mean, in elementary school, though, I was definitely shy, and I was
The
definitely
T.
like, "Do you like
Hey,
me?" Circle yes or no.
hey, Larry, this is quiet or shy. We did Fire and Desire lip sync in a ball in at the Flying W where it's 95% white people. And
Well,
it was
I'm grown now.
cowgirl night.
I'm grown now. I don't give a shit. But
Yeah.
in school, I didn't listen. I didn't really break out of my shell until right after high school. So
Okay.
high school me and college me, two different people.
Gotcha.
So let's bring in our special guest because I'm super excited that he is with us today. So I mean, he really needs no introduction, but I'm gonna give a little background. Setoiyo is originally from Columbus, Ohio, and he's been in Philly now for like 7 or 8 years, I think. I'll let him tell it, but he's freaking phenomenal. He's hilarious. He has the best arms and shoulder caps in the business, and you'll see that shortly because I know he's sleeveless today. He usually is, and it's definitely a treat. And yeah, he works at Punchline, Philly, and Helium, and like I'm super excited. So everybody, welcome to Toyo to the show. What's up?
Well, hello. Hey, how we doing?
How are
What's
you?
up, bro?
I'm good.
Yeah,
Glad to finally be here.
I know. What you
Hey,
been doing? I gotta.
I've been doing the same thing y'all been doing, chilling.
Right.
Doing a lot of chilling. The gym in my building is open, so I still get to go up there and like take care of my sanity.
Yay.
So, but yeah,
Okay. That's what's
relax.
up. Yeah, so tell us about that because that's actually what I want to talk about, like how you coping through the pandemic. I know we were both on Sucks to Be Quarantined a lot on Sundays, so comedy was definitely helping virtually. But yeah,
Yeah.
what else have you been doing? How you been?
I think that for a lot of us who have been doing comedy for a while, it kind of hit hard. So for me, what I just went into straight up like super West African mode because my family's Nigerian.
Yes.
So we're just kind of if something bad is happening, then you deal with that bad thing and you put everything to the side.
Right.
So I was begrudgingly like, okay, put comedy to the side and survive. So that
Right.
became the main thing. So literally, it became a matter of, all right, you're going to take care of your responsibilities as an adult. So that meant, okay, well, you got to get to bed at a decent hour. You're not going to drink as much. You're going to continue to work out. You're going to continue to dance. Like working out and dance kind of kept me sane.
Yeah.
It still actually, I think, does, especially right now because the world is burning. So like that's sort of kept me sane through all this. And I think Sucks definitely helped out a bit because I think after a while it sucks to be quarantined. It was really fun because we got to be funny together.
Yes.
And it was a way that you could see people. When you realize you couldn't be around people in person, it was a way to see people. And that was helpful. Like every Sunday, like that would get you through, that would help start your week.
Yeah. Yeah. We had
So
Kat on here a couple weeks ago, and we talked about that and the success and them going 26 weeks, and I was just like, wow, like what a phenomenal feat, and who
yes.
would have thought that would have happened, but it did.
Hey,
So
when you standing on the edge of the fall of the republic, you gonna
yeah,
find ways to humor yourself as this motherfucker all burns down. It's burning. It's burning. I see it.
yeah,
I know what smoke smells like. This is a lot of smoke. Go ahead.
right. Tell us how you really feel. That's what I love about
Right?
you. You hold no.
Yeah.
Well, he is not lying. Like I every once in a while end up having to drop somebody off in Philadelphia, and more times than not, it's North Philly. And holy shit, has North Philly just given the fuck up? I'm telling
Yeah.
you, it looks like Escape from New York up that motherfucker. I have
Yeah.
never seen so many people just out in the open, just fucked up on heroin.
Yep.
And surrounded just by piles of garbage everywhere. Like the garbage truck hasn't been through North Philly in about a month. And
Yeah.
it's junkies and garbage everywhere when you drive through certain parts of North Philly.
Yeah,
Wow.
man, it's hard because I work in North Philly, so
Yeah.
all this stuff happened, and I was like, all right, let me get a proper gig again. So I do case management in North Philly to young people, and yeah, North Philly is most any hood right now in America is going through it. They're always
Yeah.
going through it, but especially right now, they're definitely going through it because if the suburbs or if white people in Utah are concerned, then you know the hood is also concerned. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
it's
Yeah.
not the hood. This is just like I'm not saying like it's the hood, but it's mostly white people that are folded up like origami on the street.
No, yeah, no. I mean,
Or up.
when I say the hood, I mean white Kensington. You know,
Yeah.
like they're hoods.
Yeah.
Those are hoods. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, yo, yeah, they messed up over there. I mean, they walk around like zombies more so than normal. You walk around through there, you think you walked into an episode of Resident Evil. You know, it's just like, all right, well, what are we doing?
It's a damn shame. I shouldn't laugh, but I just got the visual and
What you
crazy.
gonna do? It's over.
Yeah.
It's gonna do. It's over. It's over. You know, if you don't have some, like as a comic, there has to be some. This is really fucked up and funny. Like it actually because there was no need for it. It's like the thing that like could have been avoided. It's like literally like imagine we're all on the Titanic, right? We're all on the Titanic, and then a bunch of us is telling the captain, "Hey, dog, there's an iceberg right there," and and the captain's like, "No, don't worry. That iceberg is gonna melt. It'll disappear. It'll be like a miracle. It'll disappear." Like, nah, bro, we're coming closer to it. It looks pretty strong. He said, "That's fake. That's a hoax. It's nothing. We hit the iceberg, and now we're going down." And we're like, "Dog, we going down." And the captain's still like, "Nothing is wrong. This is all good. Everything is fine. My feet don't feel cold. I feel comfortable."
Off the side.
For the last decade.
Exactly.
Not enough life preservers for everybody. Like, yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah, and and people are acting like all this stuff is a revelation, but this is all stuff. If you knew anybody black, we were warning you about this shit 4 years ago.
Yep.
And
Hello.
everybody
It's coming up in my memories now.
really. And then
I
it
told
comes true, and then they're like, "We were telling you this all along, and you didn't believe us."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, well, this is. I've never felt so much like a woman ever in my life. Because Latisse, you know all about this. Well, you will tell a man something, and then the man won't do it because we are what we are, and then we realize the thing that, and then we'll have this revelation. Oh my God, I should have done this, and then you look at us like I want to choke you because you weren't listening to me.
Right.
Like I think that's what this is. I was like, you knew they weren't gonna listen. You knew they weren't gonna listen, but now they're like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And then some even have the audacity to say, I should have listened to you, and I wish you would lie and say that you don't remember that conversation. Actually, I wish you would lie.
Right.
Now that you admit that you remembered our conversations, I'm more upset with you because you can go back and you were consciously being like, fuck me, fuck Setoiyo, fuck Larry XL, fuck Latisse, fuck Carl at every instance. You would be like, they don't know what they're talking about. They just live in this world too, but they don't know the real world.
The other thing that's pissing me off about this whole situation is like all these comics that for the longest time were saying, "Oh, I don't like to get political. I don't go like political." Now all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, the government needs to open the comedy clubs back up." Like, whoa, wait a second. Mr. I don't want to be political. Now you want the government to come in and fix some shit when you couldn't be bothered to talk about any of the other messed up shit that was going on. But now that it's biting you in the ass, now you want to be all like political and marching and taking sides.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think the thing that is interesting because I think a lot of people don't fully understand the economics of comedy, and I can say that as a comedian and fully admit that I don't understand all the economics of comedy because you only come to understand it as you progress. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for the past 3 years, I've paid taxes on the shit because I've been making enough that I have to pay towards the shit. And it was actually taking care of my bills in my life. But I wasn't some national headliner yet. I couldn't work an A club and have a pretty good following and be relatively well known. I think for a lot of those guys, the misconception is, and honestly, they never saw this happening, which is their own issue. That's a lot of us, even the national headliners are, medium income. We're talking about a lot of thousandaires, you know what I'm saying? Anywhere from 60 to 90,000, which is cool so long as you're working, you know what I'm saying? And once said work gets taken away, the gravity and the reality of your situation comes into play where they're forced to realize, oh, I may not want to now say it's political, but obviously everything is political because that's how we do things. So now you have a lot of guys who realize on a very base level, I have to pay my rent. The club needs to be open because by this point, they have no other, all of their skills are outdated. Their admin skills may be outdated. All the other skills they have to work in a conventional setting are either outdated or they would rather die in the street. You know, like I know one comic, really funny cat, who did 10 shows at Punchline, and that was great. But make no mistake, I know why he was doing 10 shows. That rent has to be paid, and the economics of comedy is right now, everyone's getting paid less for the most part. Unless you're like some crazy, stupid, like most every person, an opener is making half of what they're making. A feature is now making half of what they're making. So everyone's taking these hits in the pockets, and these headliners need their career to exist because, and I think I do understand this. It's like, well, they finally got their career. They certainly don't want it to go away. They finally got their career as a headliner. A career as a feature and opener is fucking brutal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what, like, you know, I was living. Yeah, you know, that's what I was living. But like these national headliners, bro, listen, like they know, yeah, the club's got to be open because they can't imagine not eating. When it's like, but bro, there were scores of other people years prior that were going through these same things that were not able to eat because of what this administration was doing, and you didn't want to get political. Right. Meanwhile, we've been had kids.
Just did a show up in PA somewhere in Easter Bliss.
Yeah,
desperate times call for desperate measures because there is no freaking way that they would have been able to get Louis C.K. on any regular day of the year if we weren't in the middle of a pandemic.
Yep.
But then, but you said, like, you know, sometimes you just got to focus on what you can focus on. And I'm like trying to find, you know, the silver lining in any situation. And I just hope that after all this is over, it would be a shame for bringers to survive the pandemic. You know, and be around when it's over. Like, you know, like I love being a comic, but there are certain comedy clubs and certain gigs I'm glad I don't have to do now because, you know, it's like, well, at least, you know, because if this pandemic I'd have been in this town I really didn't want to go to, doing this club that I really don't like doing anymore, and staying in this shitty ass condo, you know, that they put us up in. And now, now I'm just like, oh, maybe this pandemic will kill that club. You know, I don't know. Let's see.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's definitely killing a lot of them. I mean, Cap City didn't even make it, dude. And that was a lot of these spots, like, and you're seeing like death. Like literally, that's why I think for me, when all this happened, I just psychologically put it aside and tried to have no feelings. I would hope some of these establishments would stay open, but keep in mind, it was always a business. You can't be emotionally married to it because they most certainly were not emotionally married to you. Exactly. So it's like, hey, I hope you can hang in there, but I go shed no tears. I'm trying to keep my lights on.
Exactly. But you know what's funny? I've always said that comedy was political. And because I, you know, just fighting to get in places. And I remember, you know, just having to be like, okay, oh, so I'm not a dude, so I can't even get in the host. And we all know what I'm talking about. And it's always been political. It's always been, you know, and so I've always had that mindset, but I also did exactly what you said you did, Setoiyo, is that when somebody would be like, no, I would just be like, all right, moving on. And once I let that shit go, I had so many other things that will open up for me. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I was talking about how I was blacklisted basically from Catch a Rising Star because at the time she had me hosting and I felt it was time for me to move up to a feature spot. Mind you, I had two other clubs that passed me and moved me from host to feature, but she wouldn't. And when I challenged it, she got mad and then stopped booking me and completely like blacklisted me from her club. And I was like, whatever. And I think shortly after, a few months after that, that's when I got The View and I just started doing all these other things. So it was like, I didn't need that club. And it's just so funny how people think that they're hurting you, But in actuality, if you want to try to pigeonhole me and keep me somewhere that I don't feel like I should be, and I move on, guess what? Everything's going to open for me wherever and I was featuring everywhere that I needed to be at that time. So I'm like, you cannot, it is so crazy how one person will think that they know you and try to control your business. I'm like, first of all, I don't have any contract with you. Like, they say we're independent contractors. So what's also funny is how we hear about how club owners will be like, well, if you work for me here, you can't work down the street there. Bullshit. Right. Like, don't tell me where I can go and where I can't be and where I can be. I think it's so crazy that they try to put these demands on us, but then are only paying us $50.
I was about to say, you're not paying anyone nearly enough money to make demands
for exclusivity.
Exclusivity. Because that's the thing. That's the reality of it. Like, I always looked at, and it helped me a lot when I realized that working in comedy is, you may have a home club in a place that fostered you and dealt with you. That just means that those particular managers like you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the turnover rate in that industry, which is the bar and restaurant industry, is still remarkably high. So if you're lucky, you can get grandfathered into a place because your name is already so solid. But for the most part, a home club just literally means, that's just the people that rock with you there. But every like comedy anywhere, working at any club or any establishment, that shit is a one-night stand. Even if you're doing it for a weekend, you got a weekend loop. Okay, y'all, that is your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your partner for that week, for that day, for that night. So when a promoter or a comedy club ever tries to talk to me about some exclusivity, first of all, you ain't putting the money in for no type of exclusive relationship. For real, because all this is all we're doing. We OPP out here. You know what it is, okay? And we OPP out here. From the very, I'm doing like Trek said. You know, I was OPP from the very start. How dare you? How dare you feel some type of way about me? You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I love it.
It's also like I see a lot of people online saying contribute or do something to save this club, blah blah blah, save this club. And I'm like, if that club had no intentions of ever booking me, ever. Mm-hmm. Why am I helping to save a place? I'm not working.
Sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
I know that's right.
There's fair. My energy for the clubs that fuck with me on a regular basis. And if that's not your club, then hey, don't come asking me for any type of like donations or any type of like lip service to help your venue, because you were never going to book me to begin with.
Yeah. Hope you make it, nigga. But it's rough out in these streets. Hope you can get through it.
So, Setoiyo, let me ask you this. So aside from comedy, talk about give us one or two things that people will be surprised to know about you.
Okay.
That you haven't already talked about, like in stand-up.
Wow, surprised to know about me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think as a kid, I was really good at soccer, so I was really good at track. But like athlete as a teenager, probably pretty good at both those things. That's another, I guess, weird thing that people wouldn't know. What's another weird thing that people wouldn't know about me? Otherwise, I've been okay. So we'll put this one out there. I'll give you a couple more actually. An irrationally huge Batman fan. Still knowing he's incredibly flawed. Still love him. Still the only white man you should ever actually really trust. It's number two.
Hey! I seriously doubt that, because I think every like big baddie that's ever taken out the Justice League had some help from Batman. Like,
totally.
Directly.
Totally.
Yeah.
No. That's. But guess what? He'll tell you he did that shit and be like, "Yeah, I did it. Here's why I did it." He doesn't lie. He's not going to give you that skullduggery. He's not going to Tony Stark you and lie about this and be like, "Oh, it's something else." He's going to be like, "No, I did that, but can't you see why I did that?" And what I say is, when I say to trust him, is to understand what he is, that he wants to do his very best, but he's still flawed in his whiteness, so will always be as such. See, so that's the first one, and then the second one. I don't know. I mean, I grew up watching pro wrestling with my dad, and that was like the only thing he ever did with me. So I guess that would be a thing. So I've watched way too much pro wrestling throughout my life.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Oh,
there's
we've had these discussions. You and King
yeah.
trying to get me to watch some crazy ass wrestling. I'm like, nah.
I've met some porn stars casually, and that has been fun throughout my life.
Nice.
I've opened for some wrestlers because when their career's over, they invade the comedy clubs and start doing like spoken word shows. And I've opened for a couple of wrestlers. And when I tell you, man, when your career is over, that like the toll that industry takes on your body, because like these are guys who've been wrestling, their wrestling careers were, I don't know, maybe like 5 to 10 years long, but the damage that it's done to their knees and their walking and their posture is insane.
I got to do a show with Chris Pallies, who was King Kong Bundy.
Yeah. But he just passed, didn't he? Yeah. He passed not so long ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you?
We were down in Dundalk, Maryland, and it was quite a show. But I was like, what? King Kong Bundy, what are you doing here? And see, I grew up on that. See, my brother was a big wrestling fan. So we all, we watched the WWE. I was into Glow when that first came out.
Yeah, Glow.
So, but as I got older, I was just like, I lost interest. So I think it's funny how
it's good. It's good to lose interest. That means that you had that means that you had a functional father in the house.
Yeah,
that was caring about you. my daddy left, so like the burden was like placed upon me. Being a wrestling fan is like being a Cleveland Browns fan. You know you shouldn't do it, but you can't help yourself. You still continue to.
Well, now the Browns are looking actually pretty good this season.
I know, but I don't want to speak that into existence because I know how this goes.
You don't want to jinx them.
Been here too many times.
Right. Well, look, we're feeling it right now with the Eagles, so I don't even want to talk about football right now because this is bad. I'm like,
hey,
how you lose
if there was a year to have a shitty football season, this is the year.
I guess.
You can't go to the games anyway.
What I cannot figure out is why they keep holding on to Wentz and got rid of Foles when he was the one that took us to the ship. So I'm still trying to figure that shit out.
Yeah, I think that, again, Philadelphians are nothing if not. Here's the thing about Philadelphians. Philadelphians are loyal people, but you have to be the right kind. Like Carson Wentz, everyone knows his potential, so that's why they rock with him so hard.
But it's potential that he's never really fully displayed, and it's really getting old. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, but you also have to keep in mind he's tall, he's handsome looking, he's white, and before he got hurt, the year they won that Super Bowl, that man was an MVP caliber player, whooping their asses. They want that guy back. That's a relationship. They say you don't know Carson like I know Carson.
We're loyal to a fault, and that's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah.
And Doug Peterson right now is just making all the wrong decisions, yo.
Yes.
I just don't even get it.
But let them start winning, and it's gonna turn around. Look at Ryan Howard. This city gave Ryan Howard hell, but guess what? He won in baseball, and no one else. Philadelphians can give Ryan Howard a hard time. Nobody else can give Ryan Howard a hard time. Let a Philadelphian hear anyone talk shit about Ryan Howard, they will defend that man to the death. The only people that Philadelphians just do not support for whatever weird reason is Donovan McNabb. And that one,
I know.
That's the only one that I'm like.
You say McNabb and it's a wrap, yo. That's like
statistically, he was the best quarterback they've ever had.
Yeah. Well, it's like those commercials when people the E.F. Hutton commercials and they'd be like E.F. Hutton and everything would stop. It's like
McNabb,
that's it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. So right now during when the pandemic hit for you, was there any like show or shows that you started to watch that you hadn't watched before?
Oh man, yeah, I got big into Ozarks.
Okay, yeah.
So I burned through
Ozark. Yo, I reposted a memory because I was talking about Ozark years ago. Like I think it was at least 3 or 4 years ago. And I was like, y'all listen to me. I be ahead of this shit. And nobody listens to Tease. And then all of a sudden, it's then everybody catches on to it. I'd be like, yo, y'all late and wrong, okay?
Yeah.
But
No, you were right. Ozarks is dope.
The thing is, I love Jason Bateman, so like he can do no wrong. So whatever he's in, I will watch it.
I think he's great. I think Marty stinks as a husband and a father. But
Yeah.
you know, how you go push your wife to have an affair, record the affair because you knew it was gonna happen, then watch it at work. What type of sick fuck? Okay. What a sick that's a sick.
Some
sick
people
That's
into
white
that.
people shit right there.
yeah,
So-
but he didn't even touch himself. That's the problem. If he would have been
okay.
jerking off, if he would have jerked off to it, I'd be like, okay, you a cuckold type man. He didn't even. He just watched it. He was doing it, watching
Larry
it
was
like that.
oh no, you lost me. He didn't even touch
You
himself.
sick.
Maybe he was trying to learn some new moves or something. It's like, oh, she likes that. I'm gonna try that next time.
You know what?
He actually tried that. He actually tried that on her, and she was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he was like, "You like this," and that's how she found out that he had videotaped her fucking. Like, that's some grimy. And also, the characters. For those of you who haven't seen the Ozarks, they are white. Don't be mistaken.
Yeah.
You already knew this. You already knew. So I did that. I did Pose on Netflix,
Yes,
which
Pose,
I think is
that's
also
my show.
Pose is great.
I love it.
I rewatched Watchmen on HBO just because
Okay,
you know.
yes.
Yep.
Yes,
I
I
need to see
can't
us
wait
win.
for that new season. Child.
There is
I don't
no
know.
new season to watch.
There's no new season.
Yeah,
No.
there was one and done. The guy was like, "Yeah, that like
I did the perfect.
did what I
That
came to
was it?
do. It's over."
He said I had one
He
story to
did
tell.
that.
He did the perfect series. He did a perfect one season
Come
series.
on,
And he's like, I'm done.
Regina King and
Regina's gonna get work. Don't worry, she
I
ain't
know
gonna
she's
be
gonna
on
get work, but I want to
anytime
see
soon.
her in The Watchmen.
You want to see her back?
She's gonna end
Yeah.
up on Black. She's gonna end up on Black Lightning.
I've been watching a
Yeah,
lot
Black
of
Lightning
music
stuff.
documentaries on Netflix. I watched this was it Level Up. It was like this documentary about video games, and then I'm right now about 3 seasons deep into Hip Hop Evolution.
Like,
Okay.
Which, it goes through just the history of hip hop from the beginnings up until today, and like I just got to the episode where they got to like the whole New York hardcore Biggie and the aftermath of Biggie's assassination,
Mhm.
and just to see Little Kim being interviewed today, interspersed with clips of what she used to look like, is frightening.
Oh, it's horrible.
I'm
It's
like,
horrible.
what in the fuck happened to her?
hey,
Right.
yo, that self-hatred, that self-hate is big.
Yeah.
That
Right.
self-hate, and honestly,
You know,
I think it's all.
You know what I found? That show Woke is on Hulu. It's really
Yes,
good.
Woke is. I've heard great
Yeah.
things about that show.
Yeah.
I've heard
So-
really good things about that.
One of the other, so I don't know if you know this, Setoiyo, but Carol Baskin is on. She was picked for Dancing with the Stars. Did you hear?
Is that
about
the broad that murdered her husband? Everyone says she murdered her husband.
Yeah.
I didn't watch any of that because when Tiger
Yeah.
King came out, I was like, look, y'all, the world is crumbling, and this show is a personification of it. And then they were like, yo, she murdered her husband. I'm like, I'm not about to watch this. So
Right.
all I know
I
is
didn't watch
she's
it.
getting.
I
Okay, so
refused to watch it as well, and so she got picked to do Dancing with the Stars. And let me tell you, the it was just the worst thing ever. And Dancing with the Stars, what really made me mad was, and people were making jokes about this online, but they actually did it. So the very first song she danced to was "Eye the Tiger." I was done. Okay. Then I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you.
The show is called Dancing with the Stars. She is not a star.
She's not. And this is what I mean. And there's a few
like
people on here.
Dancing with Basic Bitches.
You know, it's been a whole bunch of, whatever is being talked about or whatever is trending now is who gets picked for Dancing with the Stars. It's not even about being a star anymore, which is very, very sad. But so the second song she danced to the second week, guess what it was? What's Up Pussycat by what's that Wayne or one of the dudes.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
I'm like, no. And I literally
She's
was
trying
like,
to
no,
tell y'all that she did it, y'all.
I'm not.
She's telling y'all that she did it.
So then
She is.
here's the topper. So they had Disney Week. You know, they always do Disney Week. ABC is an affiliate of Disney. You know, Disney owns ABC. And
The Lion
so
King.
Disney Week, and they danced to. They had her as the Lion King, okay, dancing to Circle of Life by Elton John, and they were dressed up. They looked like her partner Sasha looked like the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz, and she had a whole like lion mane get up and the whole like face painting and everything. And I was like, yo, I'm done. When I tell you I'm done.
If they were going to do that, they should have just went headlong into it and made the entire season that theme. They should have had her, OJ, Robert Blake.
Get all. You know they need the check. You know they need the money.
Yeah.
Let's go all the way. Let's go all the way with it. Because nothing matters.
Listen, so she's been skating by literally, and she was in like the bottom two, the first 2-3 weeks, whatever. And finally on Monday, she was finally out of there. And I was so happy. I was
put to
like,
sleep? You mean like an animal put to sleep?
No, look, I'm telling you, you're glad she's off the show now, but now there's nothing stopping her from headlining, Helium next weekend. Special event.
Hey, she gonna sell out.
Yeah.
She gonna at least sell out one day. We know this. We know this.
We gotta talk about. Here's a great topic. This is what we gotta talk about, and I want to get your opinion on this, Setoiyo. So Larry found an amazing headline and story, and I read the story. So the headline basically was like, judge rules marriage annulled because husband could not keep an erection.
Okay.
So Judge Wendy Baker is her name.
Yeah.
And this is in Canada, right? This is in Canada.
Okay.
And
very progressive as always.
So because the marriage technically and physically wasn't consummated, the judge ruled this. But what was funny was this isn't anything new, but previously, like back in the day, they said that any couples who came forward and said that they won an annulment because they didn't consummate the marriage had to prove in front of a jury that they could not have sex, which I found hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine having to go to court and get naked and behind like a very
not to demonstrate?
Show that you are not able to have sex with this person.
That's what you get for not having premarital sex. All right. I mean, if you got to spend like all that money and time, go through the ceremony just to get to the honeymoon and find out that his dick is trash, then that's on you. All right. You should have gave it up early before you started feeling about it.
Early. Oh my gosh.
And aren't we such a nasty culture? Such a low down freaky ass culture that we're like, oh, y'all never consummated the marriage? Prove it. Let us see. Let us see it. Take it off. Take it off. Do it. Do it.
We want to
do it now.
And on a related note, there's this article on CNN today that a study finds that it's a myth that women don't want sex as they age. I mean,
of course,
you spent money on that. People spent money on that study.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. It's one of those. The study should have been amended to: women want sex as they age. They may not want sex with you as they age. It's like that's the reality. It's like if you would. That's the question they should be asking. That's the real question. If I've been with a girl for 5 or 6 years, does she still want to fuck me with the same intensity that she wanted to fuck me with before? Even if I have not fallen off, I haven't gotten worse looking, I keep myself in excellent shape, whatever. She's still probably gonna be like, no, I want sex as much as I ever did. But can he not be a part of it? But that we don't want to ask. We don't want to ask that real question because we don't want that answer because our egos will be hurt.
Oh well.
Yeah, and then I don't even know why did this study because okay, let's just discount all the cougar porn that's out there. If you don't know anything about that, go back. It's like Sex in the City or Mrs. Roper. I mean, women like older women have been
Oh,
horny as
yeah.
far as
Oprah.
back as we can remember. But yeah, we need to do study on this and ask a bunch of women. Like, really,
You know what? You know what that is?
That's
That's
what
so fun. That's a gang of loser scientists who come together collectively, and they have the same issue of their wife not wanting to fuck them, and they'll be like, "We should do a study on this because there's 4 of us, and we look. This is a real issue." When literally it's like, "Nah, bruh, she just doesn't. She fantasizes about other men now. Like it's different now. She may have cheated. She may have cheated. You'll never know. You'll never find out. You'll never find out. You don't
Yeah,
want
this is
when we're done here, I'm gonna start applying for a grant to do a study on why dudes like strip clubs.
Yeah,
Because that is a mystery right there. I mean,
exactly.
Because Carl
it's
saw.
baffling people for ages of like why they are so popular, and I'm just gonna just get the government to give me some money so I can do the field research.
Yeah.
Seems reasonable.
Yes.
That's totally reasonable to me.
Go for it. Report in weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Although I'm
God.
not
Latoya,
studying in Champagne because they had a shootout there the other night.
Yeah.
This is where they get that report where they say 1 out of 4 men have this issue, or 2 out of 4 men have that issue. It's them same 4 dudes that's in that room asking about each other's wives and misperformances.
Exactly.
So, what's one thing that you've learned, probably just in general or about yourself, if you want to share it, from this pandemic and during this time?
I think the one thing I've learned is sort of about myself is being a lot more okay with the unknown than I thought I would be.
Okay.
Because I do believe that, for those of us who are comics, if you've done it for any length of time, I hit my 11th year this year, that after about a year in, I was like, I'm going to give this thing everything that I've got, and I'm going to make it a career and, come hell or high water, whatever. And you go through all of the miles, the hits, the misses, the wins, the losses, all the losses, to where you win, but you lose. And you go through all those feelings to make yourself enough of a name that you're trusted and respected as a performer, not just where you live at, but, regionally and then nationally, to where you're like, all right, this may happen. And you've given all of this to yourself to the expense of friendships, interpersonal relationships, family time. You've given every single thing to this. And then to have it ripped away in such a fashion. A fashion is such that you understand that even if we are to get through this, and even if this does come back, the economy and makeup of this will be so much different, and will not be what you remember. And you might not have a place for it, and it may not have a place for you because you don't know if you're going to like what you see if we make it through this. I thought that I would take it a lot. I thought I would take it a lot harder, but I think that I do gain solace from the fact of, hey, if we make it through this, then great. What I can say is that for the past 11 years, I gave it every single thing that I had. Every single thing that I had, whether things were going right at home, whether things were going wrong at home, whether I was messed up, whether I was in a good place, I thought, and I gave it every single thing I had. I certainly paid enough money into it, was starting to see a return from it. So there is that aspect of it where it's like, I'm not necessarily okay with the fact that it's gone, but I am certainly okay with the fact that as I remember it, I gave it everything I had.
That's awesome. That was so dope. So thanks again for coming on with us. This is definitely long overdue.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Do you have anything coming up? I know you had your you had the Setoiyo and Friends series at Punchline. Do you have any information on that? What's going on?
They have not gotten back to me, so we are not going to be emotionally intertwined with any of that. But no, yeah, if they want to follow me on Instagram, Setoiyo1, it's right there. Also on Twitter, I'm at Setoiyo1. Also, I brought back my podcast with Alex Perlman, Them Boys, because the shit's ending, so we may as well do it. We took about a year, 18 months off. Perlman had to go be a husband and be married, and I was, doing comedy and everything. But we're back. So if you go onto iTunes and you type in Them Boys Podcast, we come up, and yeah, you should check us out.
Yeah, definitely. That's what's up. All right. Well, thank you
Hey,
so
Teach, real
much.
quick before he goes, I got a quick question. How early on did you start dancing?
Oh man, oof. I was probably about, as a kid, I think I was about like maybe 3 or 4, like community wise, because West Africans just have you dance for everything, so they teach you how to dance. Like, so my mother and father taught me the tribal dances, but I saw tap dancing at 11. And then I saw
Nice.
Savion Glover, and I wanted to do that. So I started doing that for a couple of years. Then I found hip hop at about 14, like breaking, and then from 14 on, it was full steam ahead.
Nice.
Latisse tap and I tap. We got to get together and do a show.
Oh man, I'm down for. I'll be. I still got shoes. Actually, I still have shoes.
The soft shoe comedy special.
Oh,
Right,
shoot.
right.
Hey, let's do it. Let's do it. I still got my shoes.
I know I
I
said
mean,
I was
I'm
gonna
open for it.
let you go, but I forgot I had some people submitted some questions that they wanted to ask you.
Okay.
So real
Okay.
quick. So the first question is, of course, why do you show your arms all the time?
See, here's the thing that I think people make a lot about that when it's really not that. Uh, it's not that complex.
Hey, don't
I
shoot the
get.
messenger. I
Yeah,
like the
no.
view. So,
Yeah. But even this, I was modest. Yeah, I had a full. You can't even really see anything. But no, I think that I get very hot very easily, and I don't like to sweat. I like to sweat if I'm being physical and if I'm being active. But the last thing I want to do is go into a comedy space and I feel back sweat running down the small of my back.
I
I
know.
hate it. I don't like it. And what I realized is a long time ago is that I will not be unreasonably uncomfortable for the sake of appearances to make other people comfortable.
Right.
So for me, it was just a very simple thing. Was like, well, it's especially like out here in tri-state, it gets hot as hell during the summer because it's so dense. So it was like it's nothing for me to go to a show and and like with the tank top and then change once I get to the show. Although at the first Setoiyo and Friends I headlined, I was sleeveless because fuck it, the world is ending. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want. In short, if it's hot and I feel uncomfortable, I'm not gonna wear a t-shirt. But I have plenty of t-shirts. Thank you.
That's awesome. So last question. Who are your influences in comedy?
Ooh, I'm gonna sound like a dickhead. Never had any. in that, in that, I never thought because before this, I was dancing, so I never thought of doing comedy. My friends told me I was funny. I should do comedy. I never had a comedian that I looked up to in that way that other people talk about. I just didn't have that. I can say the comedians that I thought were like the most fun to watch to me because the comics that I like most appear to be the most fun.
Okay.
Martin Lawrence from their like this Talking Shit album I thought was phenomenal. Love that one a whole lot. Chris Rock, Born Suspect, I was a big fan of. Lewis Black was a big fan of his. Bill Cosby, fucking rapist monster, but still like I can't think of a comedian out and out better than him. Who else? Greg Giraldo. In the years before I had ever done comedy, he seemed so fresh to me.
Yeah.
And Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart looked like a lot of fun. But so those were the people that I thought were the most fun to watch. But in terms of comics that like I was inspired by or anything like that, by this point I was so indoctrinated into hip hop culture and breaking culture that in breaking there's a thing called biting, where it's like if you take someone's move or if you take their essence, that's a bite.
Yeah,
and if you do that, you are the worst. Yeah, you're the worst. Yeah, you're the worst kind of artist. Like you're not an artist, you're just a biter. So you can be influenced, but you can't like. So I always looked at it like, oh, so when I started doing comedy, I just wrote shit out that was trash, but I never thought that, oh, I'm gonna sound like this person. I just knew that I need to project my voice appropriately and be fun, like the other, because I wanted to have fun. I want to be fun for people. So maybe the people that I thought were fun were the inspiration, but I never thought, oh, I want to sound like this person or I like their cadence. It never came to play. I had already done all that with breaking.
Yeah. That's so interesting you mentioned Greg Giraldo because the anniversary of his death was like last week. I think it's been he passed in like 2011, didn't he?
Man, maybe even like maybe even before that. Like
Yeah, I got a
I
I
think it
got
was
a Greg Girardo story, but it's not the type of like story that where I look good.
Well, sometimes you gotta have those.
I know.
Well,
Okay, I'll tell it anyway. So years ago, I got I got asked to audition for Last Comic Standing,
Okay.
and it wasn't the catacall audition. It was like a scheduled audition.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I went up to New York, and they were just like, did fill out my paperwork. And it was like one of those things where like they took us in groups of 10, and I'm like ninth in line, and I could tell just by it was like one of those things where there's no audience. You're just auditioning for the judges
Yeah.
and the cameras. And one of the judges was Greg Girardo, and I forget who the other two judges were, but like I knew before I went on, I'm not getting passed because they weren't passing anybody that actually had jokes. They were passing characters.
Yeah.
People that had a persona but no material. Boom, you were on to the nighttime audition with the audience and everything. But if you did like a meat and potatoes comic with jokes, fuck you, get out of here. So I went up for 2 minutes and everything, and got my car, went home. So months later, I think it was like, either later that it was like something later that year, I was emceeing at the DC Improv, and I go up, bring the headliner up, and when I come out, there's a table next to the soundboard because I usually hang out next to the soundboard to watch a show, but there's a table sitting there that wasn't there when the show started, and sitting at the table is Greg Girardo and his girlfriend. And he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, where do I know you from?" It's like, "Probably when you shot me down for Last Comic Standing." And he's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry about that." Whatever. And then 3 months later, he was dead.
Oh
Yeah, that's good.
So, I got closure.
Yeah, you did. You did. That's phenomenal. That's actually
hilarious.
He passed in what, 2010?
Yes,
September 29th. Today, actually. Today's the 10-year anniversary.
That's crazy, right?
That's one. Yeah.
I knew also my memories come up, and I was like, "Oh wow,
fuck." So what was I doing 10 years ago? I had an apartment in Philadelphia, on 3rd and South.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
which I will never ever do again.
10 years ago, I was a fresh, brand new, year in comedy.
What husband were you on at that point?
Oh, the same one, unfortunately.
Okay. I don't know how long you keep him. So
he knew me before comedy, and he knows me after comedy, and I've changed and he hasn't. So
yeah, so you gotta wrap it up there. Gotta take it,
up, buddy.
He's been given the light.
Yeah,
and it's a solid red. It's a solid,
right?
Not the blinker.
It's been flashing, and now it's solid. Yes. Oh gosh. All right. Well, again, Setoiyo, is absolutely awesome to talk to you. It's never a dull moment. Love having you. I'm definitely going to check out your podcast with you and Alex. That's good. Y'all brought it back. Yeah, so everybody just follow Setoiyo on Instagram and Twitter under Setoiyo1. He's around. And again, thank you so much.
Thank y'all very, very much.
You're welcome. We'll see you later. Bye.
All right, dude.
All right. So real quick, we're almost at our hour mark. Let's do our what?
Get them tap shoes.
Let's get. I know. I'm excited. Yo, I love tap dancing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I don't. Do you really want to get into tap dancing, like, and put your joints through that type of hell this late in the game?
I love tap dancing. I took an adult tap class a few years back at Jazz Unlimited when Mitchell was dancing, and Kayla had already gone through Jazz Unlimited. But we got to get to the national calendar days because there's an issue here, and I'm like, I'm so over
Brace
it.
yourself.
I don't know what to do. and I might have to put my glasses on for this because I can't see. Like I can see, but I can't see. Okay, so all right. So National Calendar Days, y'all know this used to be one of my pet peeves, and now I'm obsessed with it. And for today, October 1st, this Friday Eve, top National Calendar Day for today, it's National Black Dog Day. Okay. Now, this is fine. At first, it's fine when you see it, but then, I clicked to make sure and actually get the description of this. So, basically, National Black Dog Day, it encourages the adoption of a dog in the darker shades. Black dogs are less likely to be adopted for no other reason than their coloring, regardless of behavior, size, breeding, personality, or age. The phenomena persists. Okay, so
Does that surprise you?
yes and no, because I really cannot fathom that people are actually racist against black dogs as well. This is very disheartening. But
yeah, but look at what are the most popular dog breeds out there? You got your golden labs and your corgis, two of the blondest, whitest dogs you ever.
Golden retriever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy though? Okay, so then the same day, guess what else it is? It's Fire Pup Day. Now, just the way that they word this, Fire Pup Day, we all know what the fire pup is. That's the Dalmatian, who's basically white with the black spots, right? It's National Fire Pup Day too. I'm just at a loss right now because I still don't like how they say National Black Dog Day. I don't. So
even the Black Dog Day can't get his own day?
Right. And it's overshadowed by the fire pups.
Yeah, I'd be mad if they gave the black dogs an entire month and it was October when we get February. That'd be more of a like it's National Black Dog Month. Wait, hold up. Wait. You mean black dogs get more days in their month than black people get in our month? What really? Is that how we're doing it?
I'm just so upset. Like, people, come on, buy black dogs. Like, what is the problem? It's also National Hair Day. Hello. And it's so funny because I'm wearing a hat today. I just did not feel like doing my hair. But it is National Hair Day today. And it's also National Homemade Cookie Day.
If you dyed your hair green, it would just blend into the background.
I know. I wouldn't need the green screen. That would look really freaky. So I'm still tripping over this National Black Dog Day, but I'm gonna need y'all to stop being racist against the damn dogs, okay? So tomorrow, for Friday, October 2nd, give y'all a jump start on the national calendar days. It's National Produce Misting Day.
Okay, I'm sorry, you're reaching. All right, that point. Misting produce. Who the hell is doing that doesn't work in a grocery store? All right.
Exactly. Like, now I feel like I'm gonna take my spray bottle and just go to Produce Junction and just like mist the fruit for them.
You'll get chased out by security.
What security?
They don't know what's in your bottle.
What security do they have at Produce Junction?
like we thought she was misting it with vodka because she doesn't know breath.
Sanitizing the fruit, the vegetables.
Right. It's also National Name Your Car Day. Yeah. Everybody does that. Does your car have a name, Larry?
No.
Well, tomorrow you need to name your car.
All right. Do I have to put those obnoxious ass like eyelashes over the?
It depends on
the headlights.
It depends on what you name it.
Okay.
So figure that out. My latest car, because the one before that, my Mitsubishi, I named it. So it was a white Mitsubishi, and I named it White Lightning, basically because I drove so fast in it. Now, my current car, my Nissan, is like that new brownish color, which actually it's called Java. So I actually named it Brown Sugar. So I already have a name for my car. Carl, did you ever name your cars?
Nah, just nah. Nah. You know the speak just about cars. Like, ain't it jacked up when if they start putting them eyelashes on the cars, but but your car goes down and you gotta borrow your woman's car with the eyelashes on it, and you pull up into the construction
Okay.
site with them eyelashes in your girl's car.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
just a thought.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, you guys are gonna like this. Tomorrow is Fried Scallops Day. Yes, another seafood. And I'm
Oh,
so
that's a good one.
serious.
Yeah, well, we were supposed to get together for the lobster roll day, but that didn't happen. Even though I
Right.
was
So we
ready to
got
go.
we got this
Yep, I
Friday
know.
we're going. This Friday we're doing lunch.
Yeah,
Because
I'll believe that when it
I'm
happens.
making up for my lobster and I'm gonna get some scallops if I can. And last but not least, it is National Body Language Day, which I'm
Mm.
actually obsessed with. I love reading people's body language and trying to figure out what's actually going on in their minds. And it does actually work too. I believe in it.
No, it don't. Not with
What
me,
you
it won't.
Why
Can't do
not?
it. You can't read my body language. I do too much.
No, I definitely can read your body language. What are you talking about? I know exactly what's going on with you.
95% of that is just gas.
No.
What is my body language telling you right now?
Larry, and you're an easy read too, Larry.
Yeah, my body language is like, hey, let's wrap this up.
I know exactly. Always, we're getting there. I'm getting to
All
the
right.
best of the week. Okay, let's get to it. Let's wrap this up. I already know. All right. So the message of the week is all right. Every time you focus on the positive, you are bringing more light into your life, and that light removes all darkness. Yes, that is the message of the week. Yeah. You know what? I'm so over it, y'all.
Yo, man.
I'm over it. The music has started. We are wrapping it up. Larry done turned the lights out. He gave us the deuces. It's over. Carl's dancing. Yo, make sure y'all tune in. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter under Funny Bits Podcast, please. And this was great. Special thanks to Setoiyo Epco for being our guest today. And we'll see y'all next week. We have Larry, your friend Anderson Ward, will be on with us. Thank
Ward Anderson.
you. Yeah, that is his name, right?
Ward Anderson, you got it back.
Oh, why do I always want to say it backwards? I always
It's National
You
Say
like
It
seeing that,
Backwards
you like
Day.
he has two last names. That's why. Ward, excuse me, Ward Anderson will be with us. Yay, all the way from Canada. Yeah. So thank y'all. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We out. Bye. Ooh, ooh, ooh.